Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Devil Experience. How you all doing? Manchester United 4, Everton 0 in what was a dominant performance from Ruben Amorim. Obviously, the best match we've seen under Ruben Amorim so far, and from Manchester United so far. Very, very good performance, very good win. We started the match a little bit slow, right? Took about 25-30 minutes to really start going. And I would say that today was a lot more of a typical Ruben Amorim Sporting-esque type of performance that we've seen from Manchester United today. Today was a lot. We got a lot of examples of what Ruben Amorim is trying to transform this Manchester United team into. And I say that because a lot of the Sporting matches, sometimes they do start very slowly into the match. But then once they get that first one, it's like catch up and it starts coming. And today that was certainly the case. And it was a very good change. It was a very good change today because the past two matches, we started the match, instantly scoring a goal. And then we fall off, which Manchester United has done typically before Ruben Amorim. Today, we started a little bit slower. We looked a little bit, not so confident, a little bit discombobulated in a certain extent. But when we got that first goal, and it was a great set piece play, absolutely excellent, great take by Marcus Rashford. Got a little bit of help from Jared Branthwaite, of course, on the way there. But once we got that, you really saw the confidence come into the team. You really saw us come to life. And I think that's very important because it shows that the characteristics of the squad are building. Manchester United, the players are building under Amorim. They are growing. Because once we got that goal, it was all us. Everton stood absolutely no chance. They started to wither away into the match, and we started to grow more and more and more. And of course, we're at home and we're at Old Trafford, but that's how it should be. That's more like Manchester United. That's more like what we want to see. That's more of what we've been asking for. We want to see Manchester United play, dominate, control the match, and score goals. And they were all great goals. All the goals that we scored today, were all great, fantastic team goals from the squad. Zirkzee getting the goal, getting two, Rashford getting two. So yeah, and Amad Diallo was absolutely fantastic as well. I mean, he absolutely just set Everton ablaze today, and the kid has been absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy for him because, again, we always talk about the journey that these players have been on. And there was a time that Amad Diallo looked like he wasn't going to make it at Manchester United, and now he's become a very important player for us. And it's just a very good story to see. I'm glad we have him. He's definitely somebody that's had a much bigger impact, and in my opinion, he's a much better player than not Marcus Rashford, than Jadon Sancho. So yeah, but get involved in the live chat. Give us your comments. Give us your opinions. Give us your thoughts. We're going to break down the match even further. We're going to do live player ratings on the show, as we always do. We'll get into some comments as well. But if you guys can please smash the like button for me if you want to help us out, because it pushes the video out and helps us get more views. So if you want to help us and you enjoy the content, we greatly appreciate it. And if you want to join our wonderful community, we have lively, very good discussions. Then subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live. We're going live weekly, throughout the weeks, every week. So we are always here. To get to some of our comments here, Lionhearts is in here saying, I said Rashford will be unlocked under Ruben. How many goals is that now since he's arrived? And did his pressing and running finally impressed everyone? Well, certainly today, it was a very high quality game from Marcus Rashford. That's more like the Marcus Rashford we want to see. Listen, the guy doesn't even necessarily need to score, but we need to see at least the minimum standard for a player in a Manchester United kit, when you're on the pitch, when you're representing us, you need to run, you need to press, you need to fight, you need to show that passion at the very minimum, and we weren't even getting that from him today. We got everything. We got goals. We got the running, the sprinting, the pressing. We got the fight from him. We got the enthusiasm. He looked like he wanted to be on the pitch. He looked like he enjoyed Manchester United, I would say, for the first time in quite a long time. And I'm very happy because I'm tired of the general discussion around Manchester United, and it always turns into a Marcus Rashford discussion, because we want Marcus Rashford to do well, but he hasn't been doing well, and it overtakes the conversation. And I said last time, at the end of the day, we are Manchester United. We are a club. It shouldn't be the sole focus around one player. We need a team discussion. We need a team aspect. So certainly I'm very happy for Marcus Rashford. I'm glad that he played the way he did. He performed the way he did today. I hope he carries it into the next match. We're going to need something like that because we are playing Arsenal on Wednesday. It's going to be a tough match. Kobe Mainu will not be available for the match because he got a yellow card. And Lisandro Martinez is not going to be available for that match either because he also got a yellow card. So we're down two important players for the Arsenal match. We're going to need these players that played excellent today to play again excellent in 3 days' time. So it's going to be very, very important that these players are hitting all the highs. And to your point, Lion, that it's not only Rashford. You know what I mean? It's not only Marcus Rashford that will be unlocked. There's a lot of players that need to be so-called unlocked at Manchester United, right? And this was one of the reasons that came out that why Ineos wanted to get Ruben Amorim, because they felt like we've had players that are performing way below their standard of level that they know that they can play to. And that was one of the reasons why they wanted to bring him in, because they felt like Ruben Amorim can get these players to play to, at the very minimum, that standard, if not above, the standard that they can normally play at. So Richard is in here. Richard saying, I thought Ahmad was great today. Even more, I thought Ahmad and Delo looked comfortable as wingbacks. Yes. And it was a good bounce back performance for Delo as well, because the last match wasn't so great, right? But today, and I said this, I do believe that Diego Delo is a good player. I rate him. I think he has been a good player for us for quite some time now. But he's certainly been a little bit out of form in recent time. But I think Diego Delo has a good personality. I think he has a good attitude mixed with the ability. And when these players go out of form, I said last show I will bet my money on Diego Delo to come back into form. I've seen this from him before, where he was hitting the highs of highs, and I've seen him come down from those highs of highs, and he struggles a little bit, but he always does manage to find his footing back. I think Bruno Fernandes was absolutely fantastic as well today. A lot of the players were very, very good. Everybody was very, very good. It was a brilliant team performance for me. And I'm very excited about this because this is what we want to see. And now we can really get the ball rolling. It's a big, big, big result, a big performance before you play a high quality performing Arsenal team. They're a very strong team. We needed this performance. This has certainly massively helped us out in the big game that is coming up. And we take this and we roll it in to the next match, and we see what's really going to come out of this. So yeah, Ten Hag wasn't utilizing the squad properly. Well, I think many of us made that argument, and I think a lot towards the end that was really what a lot of people were saying. And that was the general discussion about it when we got to that point, because a lot of the players, like we said, and they were certainly underperforming. Listen, this squad might not be champion quality, right? It definitely needs some extra work, some extra components to it, but at no possible way can this group of players be a 13th place squad? That cannot be the ceiling for this squad. It cannot be a team that is struggling to get a win in Europe, and more specifically in the Europa League, right? So we all felt that the team was certainly not being utilized in the correct way, and the players are suffering. And this is why everybody was asking for a change of manager, because it comes with different ideas, it comes with a different personality, it comes with a different way of handling situations and handling players, right? And this is why at the end, the majority of the fan base were like, no, we tried to give it a run. It's clearly not going in the direction we can. The season is still salvageable. We can still do something in this season. If we make the change now and we don't sit on our hands, we can get something out of this. And certainly, so far, we've seen on the Ruben Amorim exactly what he's trying to do. I think today was a very big example and a very good indication of what he wants the team to do, what he wants the team to produce on the pitch. So, yes, for sure, I think it was a very, very good display. Ahmad is the new Ashley Young, just better. I think it would be more fair to say that Ahmad is Ahmad. But I get what you mean. He has some similar qualities to an Ashley Young, a younger Ashley Young, right? Not the Ashley Young that we've seen today, that somehow is still playing and has hair now. But yes, but Amad Diallo, I mean, just like the kid is just he just adds this dynamic to the squad of like he's always thinking to go forward. When he gets the ball, he's quick. He's growing. You can see the confidence in his play is growing from match to match to match. And this is something that we haven't seen in the players for quite some time. I would say we haven't seen it since Ten Hag's first season at Manchester United. And this is what we need. And maybe we can go on a very good run going forward now, because we haven't actually been able to go on a good run of games in good performances and also winning matches in over a year. And we need that, because it'll just, the positivity it'll send throughout the club, from the players to the manager to the hierarchy to the fans, will just boost the club even further. And we've sort of been missing that as well. And it's been very hard to get behind and to back in recent times, right? And we need this. We need this. We really do need this. This club needs this. And I'm just absolutely ecstatic today. It was the best possible thing that could have happened today. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon, and I'm really excited. And I really do believe in this guy. I believe in Ruben Amorim. I believe in the system. I really do like the system. I think the fact that it's so fluid and interchangeable is a huge plus, especially for the group of players that we have. Because as you can see, we can interchange and we can do so many things with these players that we have in that system. And it allows us to play in many different ways as well while playing a certain formation. So I think it's an absolutely brilliant system, and I'm excited to see how this is going to develop over the next coming weeks and months. Because this can become it can go from a very shit situation to a very amazing situation over the next few games, matches, weeks and months. So Richard saying, one concern, Bruno had his ankle on ice after he came off. Yeah, I seen that. I'm not too concerned, to be honest, because Bruno Fernandes seems to be in part non-human. I mean, we all know the guy like never misses a match. I think it's actually inhuman that he plays the amount of minutes that he does. I think while he can do it, I still don't think he should do it, because I think it leads to a burnout one way or the other. I'm happy that actually Ruben Amorim subbed him off, because I think, regardless of if you think Bruno is good or you don't think he's good, he's certainly deemed an important player, and that's fine. If he's an important player and he needs to start these matches, that's fine. but also, Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be playing 90 minutes every single match for 58 matches a season, plus the international matches. Like today, I think was perfect. We were winning, we were dominating. Sure, maybe he had a little bit of an injury problem, and that's why he came off. But he should be coming off anyway because he doesn't need to play the rest of those minutes. Rest him for the next match so he can stay as fresh as possible and get somebody else in there and give them some valuable game time. And this is something that is refreshing about Ruben Amorim as well that we've seen already in 3 games. He's not afraid to make changes. He's not afraid, to do it at any time. He makes a ton of changes. And the changes have impacts when they come into the match as well. So he's doing very good in that aspect as well. But I think one of the most important things is I said it early in the show. When when we scored the first goal, you saw the confidence come to life in the team, and that led us to going and dominating the match, which we didn't do in the first 25 minutes. We were very struggling to find our feet. And now the other aspect that I would ask for Ruben Amorim to figure out and instill in this Manchester United squad is sort of like the last match against Bold Glimt, where we were home, we went up 1-0, and then we went down 2-1. And when we get into those situations and things aren't necessarily going our way, they still need to have that same confidence that they showed today after we scored the first goal, go into the match, still try and dominate it, still control it, still create tons of chances and attack and be confident and go forward and then find a way to win the match. And I think these things will come with more time as we go on. Obviously, he has a big, task at hand that he has to do a lot of this. The matches are almost like half trainings because we're figuring out how to play while we're playing matches because we have a lot of games that we're playing. I mean, we just played Thursday, we played today, and then we have to play Arsenal in 3 days' time. There's not a lot of room for stuff on the training pitch, so you have to do a lot of that work on the playing field, and it's a little bit of a risk. But again, I said this, towards the end of Ten Hag, Manchester United need a person that has a character in charge of the club that also takes risks. You need to take risks. I think in general in football is a risk-taking game, and you need to take risks. Everything cannot be from a piece of paper and numbers and statistical data. You need to analyze the game in real time, make decisions in that real time based off of what you were seeing with your eyes, and you need to have a little bit of some cojones, and you gotta take some risks sometimes. And you try and take calculated risks, and sometimes you need to take extreme risks, but the extreme risks, obviously, you don't take them as much. We're jumping around here. Lyle is in here as well. Lyle, good to see you. Lyle says, what a good game, what a good win. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just buzzing. Grace is in here as well, a wonderful moderator, saying, I'm not getting giddy. Arsenal could humble us, and it's a good point. She also says that on Wednesday, but I'm happy because we should be beating 80% of the teams. And I agree, Grace. And it's going to be a tough, listen, it's going to be a tough test. It's going to be a big test. We're not home. We're going to be playing at the Emirates, so it's an even harder test. It's a bigger test. But I'm excited for this because I want the team to be tested. I want Amorim to be tested as much as possible. I want him to learn as much as possible. And we need matches like this. Listen, if we want to build and become, competitive of the best, we need to play these matches like the Arsenal match. I'm not afraid of this match. They can humble us. It is a possibility, right? Because they're well into their progression way further than we are. We are still trying to find our feet. We're still trying to build a good foundation. And Ruben Amorim has only been in charge for 3 matches, which that will be his 4th match. But these are important tests for the players, for Ruben Amorim and for the club as a whole. So I say bring that match on. Let's go. Let's have it. And let's see what we can get out of it. Maybe to the surprise, maybe we win that match. Maybe we get a good draw out of it. And get a decent point, away from home. So let's see what happens. Lyle saying Zirkzee had such a brilliant game. We had a crappy 20 minutes in the first half, but Everton came with energy and we couldn't match it. But that opening goal helped a ton. And yeah, and funny thing about Zirkzee, because we literally did a stream on Friday, and there was a story saying that Manchester United might look to be moving him on in the summer because it seems like he just isn't the correct fit. And I did say, if the club decide to sell him after one season, I think it would be a little bit harsh. It's a little bit unfair, but I wouldn't be totally against it because, again, I said that, Omar Barada did say and believe and operates in the way that you bring a player in if they cannot perform to a certain level within the first season or two, then you need to cut your losses. You need to recoup that money, and you got to go get somebody else that fits the system and move forward with them. But today, he was absolutely brilliant. He did all the things we needed. I mean, in the first 25 minutes, it wasn't just him. It was the rest of the team as well. But, I was watching him closely, and I didn't like what I was too much seeing from him, and I was a bit concerned that he started the match. But as the team confidence grew, he also grew, and this is why I stress the importance of the team more than individual players, because the team needs to have this cohesion of confidence. They need to play together. They need to grow together, because you can see how it uplifts performances. It uplifts individual performances across the pitch. So, he grew into the match as the team grew into the match. When the team is struggling, a lot of our players are struggling. And this is why I try to hammer down this point. I don't know why a lot of the thing in football is it becomes very individualism. I don't know if it's because of Ronaldo and Messi, but people don't do things like Ronaldo and Messi. This is a team sport at the end of the day. And you need a good foundation, and you need Manchester United as a whole. The squad as a whole needs to play good. For us to succeed, it can't just be a few players, carry the team on their back from match to match to match. That's not sustainable. So, Lion says, "What an end to Thanksgiving weekend, eh, Eric?" Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better week, really. We got the win on Thanksgiving, comeback win as well. 3 points in Europe, and we got a dominating performance in the Premier League by Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford. So I'm just very, very happy. I can go and kick my feet back later and absolutely relax. I'll rewatch the match too as well. So Lyle saying the players are growing nicely into the system. Arsenal, the test. No Mano and Martinez, but we have enough cover. And that is one of the nice things about the system. That is one of the nice things about this system, is that, yes, we're going to miss Mano and we're going to miss Martinez. And Mano I wasn't too concerned about, because I was like, we've been playing sort of without Mano. So, and I was like, we can work around that. But I was like, I'm a little bit more concerned about Lisandro, because I think Lisandro is very important back there. And we haven't played necessarily without Lisandro. We played about a match or half a match without him. But I think him being back there is much more important than Kobe. I think right now Kobe, you can kind of interchange in that, and maybe you might not miss him necessarily, where I think Lisandro, we might miss him a little bit more. But I think we do have good cover, and the system allows for that good cover. And I think we should be able to handle it right now. I think the system is far superior to the one that Ten Hag tried to implement at Manchester United. So get your chat screen under control, Eric. Why? What's going on? Is it messing up? I don't know what's going on. You gotta let me know. Line saying maybe. Come on, we're going on a run now. Let's get carried away. Well, listen. I think it's important, like Gray said, that Arsenal can humble us. I don't think necessarily they can humble us, but in the certain aspect, because I think we're still very aware of where we are and what we are. But they can bring us back down to back down to earth a little bit, and kind of put in that reality, because right now we're flying high, right now we're buzzing, everybody's on top of the world. I'm sure social media has been set ablaze and is probably getting carried away, and doing all sorts of propaganda about Ruben Amorim and pushing crazy ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what it does? It does that. That's from OBS lines, but yeah. So Richard updating us, which I appreciate, because he's saying we are now ninth, 3 points behind Forest and 4 behind City, which is absolutely brilliant. And again, this is why this was the importance that the Ineos made the change that they did, and they acted with swiftness and they acted with quickness, and they did what they had to do, and they did what I would say a proper football club did. The season was salvageable. The direction wasn't heading well. And they said, you know what? We tried to give this man a chance. It's not going in the direction we wanted. We had high hopes for a strong start for the Premier League. We are in 13th. We are struggling. And we are looking very, very bad. And in the past, they would have stuck with Ten Hag for a few more weeks. And we would have been up and down, up and down. And they got this manager from Sporting. They paid the money, right? They did what a football club is supposed to do, right? It's not necessarily about the money. It's about what can you do for this club to improve the situation of this club. And they did it regardless of the money. They bring this man in, and now the direction looks like it's turning around. Certainly in these first 3 matches so far, Arsenal is going to be a certain test. But it will also be interesting, whatever comes out of the Arsenal match, it'll be interesting to see how we go forward after that Arsenal match. Like, if we do lose, how does the team respond? How does the team perform in the following match? That's why I want to see this Arsenal match, because I think it's good. I think it's good as a whole for the team. Even if we lose 3-0, I still think it's good for the team. It's a learning block, and we want to get to that level, right? So you need to play these matches as much as possible to put your team to the test, to put your ideas to the test. I think it's important for Ruben Amorim. So yes. Listen, let's do live player ratings. If you can, please smash the like button for me, people, because it helps the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. Takes 2 seconds at a time. It is a massive, massive help. We don't just say that just to say it. It does help with YouTube and stuff. And if you enjoyed the content, you want to join our lovely community here, you see our passionate fans here, get involved in the chat, but then also subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we go live weekly. We're always here. We've been here for about a year now. Our anniversary is coming up as a channel, so there is that. But let me pull up the player ratings, and we can do them together. And we can move forward with that. So give me a couple of seconds, and let me pull up the screen side by side. So Lions is going. Thank you, Lions, for being here. Appreciate it. Stopping by. We will catch you on the next one for sure. And we will be streaming live tomorrow as well. About 8 p.m. UK time. So, but Andre Onana, we're gonna start. I'm gonna give him a 7. He had some good saves. I don't think he had he wasn't peppered or anything today, but he had some big saves. He had a big save towards the end as well. Fantastic save from Dominic Calvert-Lewin's diving header. So he had some good saves again. Once again, he also kept a clean sheet and helped with the defense, of course, as well. And the rest of the squad. But again, I think it was another good performance. He had some good sweeper keeper moments as well, coming out for the ball at the right time and just securing the ball. So yeah, it was very good in that aspect. For sure. Mazawari, I give him a 7. Again, Mazawari is Mazawari. He's been signing of the season. There's definitely arguments for him to be player of the season as well. So far for Manchester United, he has just been absolutely brilliant. Played a complete game. And yeah, I think he was very, very good today. Mateus Delit, I give him a 7 as well. Very good game. Definitely like him in that central center back role. I think he fits that mold very, very well. I think the system fits him very, very well. And yeah, I just very much like him playing there. He has a few kinks that he still has to work out. Sometimes he makes a couple mistakes here or he misjudges a ball here or there. But I think, first season in Manchester United, he's already a very experienced player for what he's been through, and he's still very fairly young. So, um, you know, I think for sure that he will grow more and more and more. And Lisandro Martinez, I'll give him a 7 as well. Because the defensive line kept a clean sheet. They did very good. They did their jobs. And yeah. Amad Diallo, we're gonna give him an 8.5 today. Because I think he was just such a catalyst for the team. He didn't, and this is what I'm saying, and I said it about Marcus Rashford. You don't necessarily have to get on the score sheet to have a good game. Um, but you know, he's just adds something to the team when he's there, when he gets on the ball. He instills a lot more confidence that you feel like something is going to happen. And I said this last time, and I said, Amad Diallo and Garnacho are these players that they're young, they're confident, they're attacking, and they're getting on the ball. And every time they're getting on the ball, something out of the attack is happening, and dangerous moments are being created, and they are performing the best out of those players in those positions. Now Marcus obviously played more in that central role today, and maybe that's where he needs to play more going forward, but there is a lot of competition there. So I don't it's a good thing, and I also think that you can kind of rotate that whole aspect is very good as well. So um Casemiro, I give Cass a 6.5. I think he struggled a little bit today. You could tell that, the midfield was a little bit, especially in the beginning of the match, it struggled to get a grip of the game. Um, and again, the whole thing about him not having legs is a big thing. I still think he has qualities that he provides to to Manchester United and to the team, but the whole issue is that his legs are really gone. And it is quite unfortunate because I wish he was, we got him a few years ago so we could still have that Casemiro with legs, because you have to have legs in the Premier League. And I do think that, I would say that probably at the end of the season, this should be his last season, as much as I love Casemiro. But I think it's time to move forward. And I think, just having somebody a little bit more mobile with a little bit more legs, that has his sort of specialties, will progress this team even further. But yeah, certainly, uh, yeah, it was a pretty basic average performance by him. And I would give Kobe, listen, I love Kobe Mainu. He hasn't played for a numerous amount of weeks, right? And I think he's a brilliant, brilliant kid, a brilliant, brilliant talent. But if we're gonna be fair, I will give Kobe a 6 today, because I think he was sloppy a lot of the times. He gave away a couple bad balls, bad fouls in bad areas, and I think he just struggled to meet the pace of the game at times. He wasn't completely bad because a 6 is just an average performance, right? So it's not like I'm saying he was terrible, but by what we're used to by Kobe Mainu, I think it was definitely below his normal level and his normal standard. But that is normal when you haven't played for a few weeks, and this is why I said this about Tyrell Malacia as well, because when you're just not in the run of things, you're not going to be as sharp and you're not going to be on top of your game. I expect that to change now that he is back and he played about 80 minutes or so. And I expect that to change, and I expect Kobe to come back and be Kobe and fit into the system. And he's one of these players that is definitely you're excited about to see how he's going to develop under Ruben Amorim, right? Ruben Amorim, one of that loves to work with youngsters, has improved youngsters tenfold through his time at Sporting. So these is one of these players that you're excited to watch. You want to see how he's going to grow and develop it more into the player that we know that he can potentially become. Because I still believe that Kobe Mano can become top 5 midfielder in the world at some point. So certainly, yeah. Diego Dalot, I give him a 6.5. I think it was an improved performance from last match. I think he can still do more, but I think he did good. And I think it was a good bounce back match for him compared to the last match, right? The last match, I think I gave him a 5.5 or a 5. So, I think he had a much better game today. Um, and yeah, I still think he could play that left back role, right? I think he can. I think he could play left wing back. He could play right wing back. It's fine. He just has to be a little bit smarter when he's on the ball in those positions out on the wing. And I think he was a lot better today in that aspect. So, the Marcus Rashford, I give him Marcus Rashford. I give him a 7.5 today. Um, scored 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 what brilliant goal. um well, he scored two brilliant goals, right? And I think it was a good performance by Marcus Rashford. He ran, he sprinted, he did his job, he pressed, he did things that we've been asking for him to do, that we expect from him, that we expect from really any Manchester United player. When you're on the pitch, that he hasn't been doing for quite some time. So, I think it was good. He got a brace. Uh, um, Lyle saying Rashford was good. Some parts of his game today were annoying, but he looked good. Yeah, and you know what? That's fair. But I also think that he has been struggling. So, I don't think you're gonna get an absolutely perfect performance, because I think some of those things that he's been struggling with, he still has to play out of it. Right? He still needs to play out of that. Um, those kinks, those annoying things in his game. But I think today certainly will do him a large, great, help in the fact that it will build his confidence. It'll make him feel better. I think it'll help the team as a whole make everybody kind of feel better about each other, right? So, but at the same time, as Lyle's pointing out, 3 goals in 3 games, which is good because we want him scoring goals. We want him getting involved in the attack. We want him creating chances and stuff like that. So, it is what it is, and I think it'll come with time. It's just important that we see something. This is what I'm saying. Like, as long as we see some sort of progression coming from him, I think people will start to get more behind him, because you have to. I've said this so many times on our shows. Like, whether it's the manager or it's a player or the club in general, like, you have to show us that you are growing somewhere in some aspect, and we will get behind you. There is no doubt, there is no question about it, that we will get behind you. We will back you. We will support you. But it's like, when you get to a point where you are doing very awful things, and it's a hard to watch, and you're not really giving us anything to get behind, then you can't just expect people to blindly give you fake love and fakes, and sort of like, I would say, like, fake support in that aspect. There's times where we have to give you the criticism, because you need to hear that criticism so that you can improve. And then there's times where you do the correct things and we give you your flowers, because you deserve it and you did the things that you deserve the credit for. Um, and I think on this channel, at least, we've always been very fair to all the players, especially somebody like Marcus Rashford. So I'm very happy that he's got 2 goals today. I think the first goal was brilliant. Like, takedown. The fact that the technique for him to sort of pass that ball with the inside of his foot, not go for power, not go for the laces. And I think that ball was going in. if Branthwaite didn't hit it, it was on target. Like that thing was gonna slide into the inside of the post, hit the inside of the post, and go into the net. So I still think it was a brilliant hit, regardless of if it got help with Branthwaite. And we should probably talk about Branthwaite because Stephanie was on here the other day talking about, is this a potential audition for Branthwaite? And I told her my reasons why it probably shouldn't be. But if it is, I think he's failed that. I think he shit the bed today because two, big mistakes by him. Especially the second one, he looked absolutely just destroyed. And I'm sure there's going to be United fans out there on the internet talking about Jared Branthwaite's ass and we should not go and get him. But again, I like I said the other day, it's not about just one performance against Manchester United. Number one, we ain't the standard right now, how we used to be, right? But it's about how he performs week in, week out in the Premier League at Everton against all the teams. And that's how he should be judged on if he is good enough or not, if we should go get him. It's not just about today's performance. So, Bruno Fernandes, I give him a 7. I think it was a good performance by him today. And he was very lively. And I think it was playing in that, he moved forward today, right? He was playing in that deeper role where Kobe played. And I think that's probably, if we have all our players available, I think Bruno will probably be playing there a lot more than in the deeper role. I think he was a lot more influential. I know we kind of said that we like him probably a little bit more deeper, but when he has a game like he did today, he was very, very good. 7.5 for the assists. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, he did get 2 assists, so yeah, I think you're right. I thought maybe it was one assist. I thought it was 1 assist, but 2 assists. So we'll give Bruno a 7.5. I think that's more fair. And this is the Bruno that we want. I don't even necessarily want or need Bruno Fernandes to score goals. I'd rather him get the assist because I think he can do that very well when he does it, and he's more unselfish, right? And even on the first one. I spoke to my father real quick when we were on the phone because I didn't go see the match. I actually woke up late, and I missed like the first 10 minutes of the match. But we were on the phone, and he even my father said he was surprised that Bruno didn't go for glory on the first one and that he actually passed it. And I was like, well, he can do that, and he does do that. And I think when the opportunity is really there, I think more often than times, he will pass the ball. But again, I think he gets into this tunnel vision sort of thing. When the team is struggling, he then sort of feels this need as the captain to try and, get the cavalry going, and then he starts becoming very tunnel vision. He starts becoming a lot more selfish, and I think he needs to be. And he tries to create the goal to get the team going, to get the team moving, to make something happen. But when the team is looking dangerous, and the team itself, players across the attack is making things happening, and they're getting in dangerous positions, I think he feels a little bit less inclined to be so selfish, and he trusts the teammates a little bit more. Like, here, have a go. And then Richard saying that he would prefer him getting assists as well. And I think so. But I think for the system that opens it up and allows for assists like that, like assists that he got today, I think he'll get more assists because I think it just allows a lot more creative freedom. And he doesn't need to force shots like he does. Joshua Zirkzee, I give probably an 8 for the 2 goals. He had a very good performance, right? He had 2 shots on target. He had 2 goals. He held the ball up. He had, good passing stats. He had 2 key passes as well. My thing is that he does lose the possession quite a little bit, too much still for my liking, but in terms of, it was just good to see him on the score sheet today. because we want him scoring goals. He's been struggling to score goals. And yeah, I think it was just very good from him today. And hopefully this gives him a lot more confidence because it seemed like he was having a very torrid time. He seemed sort of depressed out there when he was playing, right? And you want him to feel some sort of happiness when you're on the pitch. So it was very good that he got the two goals. He was in good positions for the two goals as well, where you want your striker to be. And just based off of the past two games, I mean Rasmus Højlund, I think was absolutely brilliant, right? The last match, and he is my preferred striker, and he's my preferred one to start over Zirkzee. But two back-to-back matches where you have two different strikers and they have two different profiles, and I think they both played the striker role very, very excellent in both those two matches. So I'm pleased for him. I hope he can continue to build on this. I don't want to see him necessarily go backwards. And I think the more goals that we continue to score and create for our strikers, the better, because I think they can very much, at the very least, maybe they don't have a total dominating game, but I think they can put the ball in the back of the net when given good opportunities. I think they have that ability at the very least. I still prefer Rasmus because I like the energy. I like the pressing from him. I like the threat that he holds when he stands on the back line, and he can make runs in behind, and he can also hold the ball up very well. So I prefer Rasmus Højlund over Joshua Zirkzee. But if Joshua Zirkzee can give performances like this, then I'm here for that as well because I think that's a very good option, and a very very good backup option, and he adds like a little bit of a different dynamic than Rasmus Højlund. So um, Richard saying, I am pleased with the run of games over Christmas that we have a squad that can cope. Well, it is good that we struggled with a little bit of injuries in the beginning, and they've all come back to the point of now we have pretty much a full fit squad at the Christmas period, which is a very tough, it's the toughest period of the year. You play a lot of matches, and we need that squad to be as available as possible because again we're going to rotate and it's going to be a lot. So yeah, I'm very pleased as well, and we have a lot of games coming up, and important games, and we need to climb this table as high as possible because I still do think, even before today I said it, that I do think that top four can be achieved. But we have to earn it, right? But I think it can, because I think if we go on a good run of games and we play matches like we played today, in the manner, and we win in that manner, and we continue and we build on top of those matches, then I think that we can get in top four. I don't see why not. I think this team, with the group of players that we have, should be at the very least definitely competing at the highest level for the top four spot. And I would argue, go up one level from top four and go into the top three, and maybe even make a push for two. But we have 19 points right now. We are in ninth place. We're 1 point behind Brentford, 1 point behind Tottenham, 3 points behind Forest, who are in sixth place. Manchester City have uh 23 points. They have to play Liverpool today. I guess we go for a draw because nobody wants to root for Liverpool and see them win. I kind of want them to lose, but I don't want Manchester City to widen that gap on us. Uh, so I guess I'm going for a draw today, which would then give them 24, which puts them 5 points up above us, which is not far considering their form as well. Brighton have 23 as well, which is 5 points. And then Chelsea have 25 and Arsenal have 25. So if we just do our thing, it's 1-0 to Liverpool at the moment. Oh my God. Well, I kind of expected, I said Liverpool was going to win this match, but I actually have money on that. But yeah. But let's finish these things up. So and thanks for that update, by the way. Let's finish the player ratings up. Maguire, we're gonna give a 6 because he came in and he did all right. Luke Shaw, he didn't play much. Luke Shaw, I give him like a 6.2. I think he came in 6.3. He came in, he did some pretty good actions, moments. I like Luke Shaw in that left center back spot and role. He plays it very well. I think it's very good. It fits the team very well. And this is why I'm saying I like this system very much, because it's very interchangeable, very fluid, and it fits the quality of players. We have a lot of players that you can play in many different positions. So I think this system goes hand in hand with the players very, very well. Manuel Ugarte, I'm going to give him a 6. Garnacho, I'll give him a 6. Mason Mount, I'm going to give him a 6 because I usually just give all the subs. Unless you come on, you get an assist, a goal, or some defensive goal saving, goal stopping defensive action. You usually get 6s because you don't play that many minutes anyway. Compared to a starter that plays 60 plus or whatever. So and Ruben Amorim, I'm gonna give him an 8 today, because I think it was absolutely brilliant. We dominated. We set out the game plan perfect. Liked all the substitutions, liked the rotation, and you can see what he is really pressing for. And I'm very excited by this man. And unconventionally, some people might not give the same uh, man of the match as me, and that's fine. But to me, for overall all around performance, I'm gonna give it to Amad Diallo today, because I just thought that he was such a catalyst for the team today. Um, and even though Marcus Rashford scored 2 goals and Zirkzee scored 2 goals and Bruno had 2 assists, I just think that Amad Diallo was absolutely in terms of a full performance. I think he was brilliant. The only thing that was missing was him on the score sheet, but that's not the determining factor. I think for the whole minutes of the game on the pitch, yeah, I think he was brilliant. So I think he deserves man of the match, and I'm happy to see him performing in this way, and I hope he continues to perform in this way. And we move forward, because there was a time and point, we had somebody like a Jadon Sancho, and he played shit for Chelsea today, and I'm so happy that the club made the right decision in moving him on, and we keep a player like Amad Diallo, because you can see, we had a player like Amad Diallo. We didn't spend the money that we spent on Amad Diallo, that we spent for Jadon Sancho. And look at the difference in who provides us, who's done more for the. I think Amad Diallo has done more for the Manchester United already than Jadon Sancho's done at his time in Manchester United. And that's why, recruitment is such an important thing. Like, it's not about going and splurging 80 million on players. It's about getting a player. And at the time, the money that we spent for Diallo was deemed quite a lot. But when you look at it now, the money that we spent and the player that it looks like he is developing into, and so far what he's given us, it's money well spent. It's a brilliant piece of. It's one of the few brilliant pieces of transfers that United did during that period, because they didn't do a lot of them. They did a lot of very bad ones, but this one has actually paid off later down the line. Because whatever that was, I think it was about 30 million or something like that, right? Um, if you were to sell him now, you would get more money than that. So it's just brilliant. And we need to do more things like this, and this is why I'm talking about. I like these younger players. I like scouting these younger sort of profile players. I think it's just a better overall. Obviously, you need some experience mixed into there, but yeah, we should, maybe 1 or 2 when you need the final key pieces. You get that already built experienced player, kind of like how Fergie used to do it. I mean, kind of like how Fergie did it with Robin van Persie, right? Robin van Persie was already established. He was already set. He was already built. He didn't need no development. He had the Premier League experience. You knew what you were getting right away. You slot him into that team. He was the missing key. But until we get to that point where we say we need 1 or 2 major missing keys, get them and slot them in, right? I think this building of the foundation of the team, where we're looking at players that are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think they're just good buys, because if you buy them and it doesn't work out, you can move them on. So from the financial aspect of the club, we don't get destroyed how we were getting destroyed. And you don't pay 80 million for these players. You pay 20, 30, 40 million for them. and you can recoup those fees, and you don't take such a big loss if they don't work out. And if they do work out, then you stand to make profit, or it looks like a brilliant piece of business. So I think Ineos are doing that. I think they're looking down the right road. I think they're walking down the right road right now, and let's see what comes out of that. But yes, Amad Diallo was our man of the match, and Richard agrees with that as well. And let's just see real quick, right? Some comments maybe from the manager, if I can pull them up, because they go missing sometimes in the timeline, because I do use Twitter to pull these up, right? So Marcus Rashford has spoken to the media as well, so we can run through these real quick. Marcus Rashford saying it is a nice result. It is important with a new coach, and a new play, and a new play of playing. I think he meant new way of playing. When we are still learning, we have to back up this performance and win in midweek. And I think so. And you know, I would even give to Rashford. I think, that's the correct mentality and attitude to have from a player anyway, when talking about the mindset. Like, you want to go into that match and win. I would say even so, even if we go into the Arsenal match and we end up losing, but if you give them the game of their lives, if you make it the hardest game that they've played this season, and we come out with the loss, I can still be proud of that, and I can still be encouraged by that, and they should probably still be encouraged by that, because again, they're where they are, they're much further ahead of us than where we are. So if we can at the very minimum go and give them the hardest game that they've had this season and make it difficult and be competitive with them and kind of go toe to toe with them, I will be very happy with that, even if we don't necessarily get the win. Obviously, I'll be disappointed that we don't get the win. I'll be upset, but I will take those positives out of it if they can at least very much do that. Rashford also said, we all as individuals want to get back to our best and then push to improve. So even in the bad moments, you are doing the right things. And that's fair enough. And I would just say to Marcus on that point that, you know how you do that as like for the individual basis, you do it as a team. You do it as a team. If the team does it, the individuals will reap the benefits from it. So, he says we all as individuals want to get back to our best. Well, that's good. Take that individual thing, turn it into a collective for the team, and have the team get back to their best, and everybody inside of the team will perform to their best, and they will be back. So, and even in the bad moments, it's about team. It's about a team unity. Ruben Amorim has already pushed this idea, and he's talked about, you don't play for yourselves, you play for a team. And if I see a player playing for himself and doing individual things, then I will call them out. They will be punished for that. That is one of his major things, that he will not stand. Out of a lot of things, he will not stand this selfish individualism. And I think it's important that is important to him, because that has been a big problem in Manchester United team aspect. We haven't looked like an actual team for quite some time. When we play on the pitch, we haven't played as a team. And if you bring that and instill it into the culture and into the dressing room, I think we will see the benefits from it will send us through the roof. So Rashford saying the connection is going to build and grow the more we get used to him. Ruben Amorim, come in a busy period, and hopefully the connection keeps building and growing. He comes in with a great attitude, and it's passed on to the players. And that is, I've said this once before. I've said it a couple times. The manager or the head coach, whatever you want to call him, is your team on the pitch is an extension of the manager, of who you are as a manager, what you are as a manager. Your team represents what you are as a manager on the pitch. And I think Rashford hits at that, alludes to that by saying, he comes with a great attitude and it's passed on to the players. And these are things that these are why certain qualities in a manager are very important, because you can pass that stuff on to your players, and you are the nucleus of this playing squad, and then they represent you on the pitch. And I think if you look at Ten Hag, right, there was certain aspects of that squad, and I think it's fair to say that they were a representation of who he was as a manager and a person, his personality, his ideas, and his attitude. And you're already seeing the differences, because Ruben Amorim is a totally different person with a different personality. You're already seeing the differences in the squad being translated onto the pitch. So, Rashford saying the atmosphere is one of the most special things about this club, and playing at this great stadium is always a great feeling. He also said it is early on, but I feel energized and ready for the next game. The game has only just finished, but the next one is always the focus for the players, and the next one's coming quick. You have 3 days before you're playing it, so you have 2 days of rest, and you're playing the third match. So, which I think is good for us anyway, because we're hitting a good point right now, and we want to build. So we probably want to play as many matches as possible anyway. We don't want any time off. We don't want anything to kind of break this period, this cycle. Ruben Amorim on the game said the result was good, but we were pragmatic. It was not pretty, but we were pragmatic. We did our job, which is to win. So Ruben Amorim, still demanding more, still saying it wasn't to what he actually wants. I think at times we were pragmatic. I think he's being maybe a little bit harsh, but again, he's allowed to be a little bit harsh, because he needs to demand. He needs to demand as much as possible. He needs to keep pushing them for more and more and more. You can't get comfortable, right? You can't say we were absolutely brilliant. I think it's the correct line to kind of put out there. You can't don't give them an overarching too high of a compliment, because they'll get complacent, and they'll think we're good now, we're good. No, we got to keep pushing them. We got to keep pushing them and keep on pushing them. And he said, Ruben Amorim told the BBC, he said it was far from a perfect performance. And I think it is. I think it was. Especially in the beginning of the match, and even at some points during the match. But we did our job, and we went and we scored goals. We were clinical, and we finished our dinner, which is something that we struggled to do. So on that aspect, that was very good. And then we dominated them in the score line. And we dominated them in some possessions of play, but there's still work to be done, and I understand why he's doing this, and I understand why he's saying this. So, Amorim on the first goal, you have to congratulate the players and the rest of the staff. The most important thing on set pieces is the staff. So great job. Well, I hope we see more goals from set pieces, because we have sucked at set pieces for so long, and it's been so bad, and it's been like so depressing. As a team, to just know that your team is so shit at set pieces, and that you're never going to score from a set piece, because you don't score from a set piece. And then there was even that period of time where, like, we don't score from set pieces, and then we're going to concede from set pieces. So, when I watch Arsenal, I'm jealous, because they're always scoring from set pieces, and I'm like, why can't we do that? So hopefully we start seeing more goals from set pieces, because it's one area that Manchester United has been really bad at for quite some time now. So, Amorim on scoring against Everton from a corner. You can see how tall they are and how small we are as a team. So we tried to see where we would have space to create danger, and that is absolutely smart, right? We didn't cross it into the box. We crossed it onto the top of the box. Marcus Rashford was absolutely in miles of space, absolute freedom, and we ended up scoring from it. So, very, very smart, very, very good. And we need more things like that. We need to be more tricky. We need to be more intelligent, more clever on the set piece plays. And I'm here for that. So hopefully we do more on that. Amorim on Ahmad saying he is he is really big in talent, but small in size. He did a great job, but he also has to improve. He is in a great moment. Ruud van Nistelrooy helped him a lot in his games in charge, and now he is helping me. Yeah, and I like that too. And that's one of the things that I like Alma too, because I was when I played, I'm a small player, compared to a lot of the other players out there, right? But I like when these players that are small in size can do great things on the pitch, because it's not always about being the biggest player out there, right? Or the strongest player out there. You can perform and you can impact games, um, not being one of those players on the pitch, right? So a big W for the big W for the small people um out there on the pitch. Amorim saying, rather than trying to convince the fans about this performance, uh it is better to say we have a lot to do. It will take time. Sometimes we are not playing well, but everyone defended together. Yeah, and I agree. We have things to work out on. We didn't play good for like 30 minutes. And then we grew more. So there's still work to do. There's still improvements need to be made. And we can do much better for sure. Amarim, our fans just ask for hard work, which is absolute, and then in time they will ask for better football, and absolutely. See, this is good. Like, he does really understand this club. He understands the fans. He understands what the fans say. I think, he might be popping onto social media or something, because he's like almost too aware of the general consensus of what fans say. And I don't know if does do that. And I don't know if I would necessarily like if he does that, but literally, it seems like he's like watching fan channels or something, like, and he's getting just feedback of general sentiment of what the fans are saying, because everything he says literally lines up with Manchester United fans, and the current discussion about um Manchester United and the players from the fans. So um Rashford saying, Amorim is demanding, but he encourages players to play to their strength. That's how you get a really good collective performance. Hopefully, we can build on that. There's no need to get carried away. We have to keep working. So yes. Um, and Rashford saying, Ahmad counter-pressed well for two of the goals. He's very lively and always looking to push the other team back with or without the ball. And that's what I really like the most about him. I like that about him. I think Rasmus does it also as well. And Rashford, you know what? You can do that too. And I think you did it today, but we obviously want it, on a consistent basis. And I think you can do it on a consistent basis. And I hope you do it on a consistent basis. So, um, yes. But listen, I think that is it for today. We will do a live stream tomorrow, everybody. We will be going live. Thank you to everybody that smashed the like button for us and helped us get pushed out there. We greatly appreciate it. To any new subscribers, I gotta get the subscriber thing back up here. It is subscriber thing that when you subscribe, put your name up here, a sound would play. I gotta get that back in, because it got messed up and I never fixed it. So, but if you did subscribe, thank you. We appreciate you very, very much, and we welcome you to the community. And hopefully, you get involved in the chat, because we want to actually hear from you. We want to hear from everybody. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. You don't have to be afraid. You won't get, shut down or ostracized or whatever. We just want to hear what you think, so we can have a nice, wonderful discussion. So, thank you everybody that got involved in the chat. Thank you, everybody that smashed the like button. Thank you to all the new subscribers, if you did subscribe. We will be live tomorrow, somewhere around 8 p.m. UK time, which is 3 p.m. My time. I will catch you guys tomorrow. And until then, everybody be good, stay good, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and enjoy that Manchester United win. I'm going to go throw on the Liverpool City match and see what we get out of that. So, yes. And Richard says, thanks, Eric. And thanks, everybody. Stay safe. And says, come on, United. Yes, come on. It was absolutely brilliant. Very, very, very happy. Very, very positive day for Manchester United and our fans around the world. So I'm just very, very happy. And I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Rewatch the game later on. Rewatch some of the goals and just take it all in. And absolutely just bask in it, or bath in it. No, bask in it. Yeah. But tomorrow we will be live, so I hope you guys join us, and I hope you guys are here. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing from you. Everybody take care, be good, and enjoy.